Hey folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our book for today is The Howler. This is the seventh book in the Nightmare Room series by R.L. Stine. Now there is danger, death, near drowning, dangerous situations, ghosts, very deadly ghosts and scary, weird inventions, and an asshole big brother in this one. So if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, and this is by, I think it's Avon. I had the same problem last time. Yeah, but this is the publisher anyway. So second, there we go, that. You see that symbol over there? This is the publisher. Let's see if you can't see that well enough. I'll leave it up on screen. On screen, sorry. All right, yeah, but it's Avon. That's the publisher. All right. I'm sorry if some of the words I'll say will sound a bit funny. Half of one of my bottom teeth is missing, been filed off, so for a few weeks I'm probably gonna talk a bit funny. Alright, so this is the second book from the Nightmare Room series I have read. The first one was Shadow Girl. This is the second one. I gotta say, I really love this cover too. It's really cool, the image with the kid, see? And the ghosts, and also this, how shiny it is. You see? And that's a nice touch with these particular editions. Alright, so let's get to the story. So the story is about, again, almost the same age range. We have a kid named Spencer. He's 13 years old. He goes to ice skate with his cousin Ian and some of his friends, Vanessa and Scott. Well, I don't know how much you can call Scott a friend, really. Maybe more of a classmate. But anyway, they go ice skating. Ian has his Spencer's big brother's ice skates. He doesn't really manage with them. Anyway, they go skating, but something terrible happens. The ice breaks underneath Ian, and he dies. He drowns. Spencer tries to save him, but nearly drowns himself. But yeah, that's it. He is rescued. And for an hour a year later, where throughout the whole year he's been, ever since what happened to his cousin Ian, he's been obsessed with finding a way to talk to ghosts. Now, Spencer and Ian were very close. They were like brothers. For a real brotherly relationship, unlike what he has with his big brother Nick. So yeah, Spencer's been obsessed with, finding a way to contact a ghost so he can talk to Ian. To let him know that he tried to save him, and he buys all these gadgets from websites, and none of them really work. Because most of them are, just a scam. So he tries another one of these gizmos, and unfortunately doesn't work. We have his brother Nick bullying him all the time. Man, that boy is useless, I tell you. He has to have Spencer do, like, the most benign shit for him. Like, go get me a bowl of cereal. The kid's 16, for fuck's sakes. What is he going to do in college? He's going to call Spencer to come from... I don't know, he's probably still going to be in high school. He's going to be in high school. To go get him, to make him a bowl or come make his bed. I'm just amazed by the laziness of this fucker. Anyway, back to the main plot. So yeah, another gizmo doesn't work. So then Spencer... then Scott, I'll just call him a classmate. He invites, he keeps telling Spencer and also Vanessa that his house is haunted. And, come see and you'll see a real ghost. Now, Spencer badly wants to believe that there are ghosts because he badly wants to talk to Ian. So he goes. They go up to his attic in his house. His house is just a bit older and a little bit run down than the other houses in the street. So they go up there, and Scott tells them, "Look, there's a real ghost." And Spencer screams, but what it actually is, it's not a ghost, it's a dummy. An old dummy that's used to make dresses on, the women would use. And Scott's dad put a head on it. Now, Vanessa knew that that was, in fact, a doll. Spencer didn't, and Scott, who was a bit of a prick and a show-off, the next day tells everyone in school that Spencer believed that it was a ghost and that he screamed and was terrified. Vanessa invites him that same day with her after school to go buy art supplies. And they see Scott approaching them, so Spencer grabs her and let's run quickly, wants to avoid Scott. Because of the running, they get to an unfamiliar street, and there's this weird shop that looks more like a house than a shop. And Spencer sees that in the sign inside there's ghost stuff. So of course he's tempted to go in, and he does with Vanessa. It's very dark, spooky inside, what you'd expect. And then this frail old man comes out with a booming voice. And he's like, how can I help you? Vanessa wants to leave. She thinks the place is fucking creepy. And yeah, it is. But, the man asks, do you want to trap a ghost? We have all sorts of inventions. And Spencer's, Vanessa's like, come on, Spencer. He's about to turn, but then he blurts out, I want to speak to a ghost. I want to find one. And the old man's like, I have just a thing for you. So he goes to one of the cabinets. There are these closets. Closets with cabinets. Display cases, sorry. And he pulls out this little device. And he goes back to Spencer and tells him, this is the Howler. It allows you to communicate with ghosts. It allows you to hear ghosts if they are nearby. It picks up the waves. What was it? The magnetic waves, maybe? Yeah, I think that was it. And, and tells him, and if you press this red button here, you can talk to them, too. I will give the guy this. At least he, told him, Spencer says, can it attract the ghost? Can it summon the ghost? At least he was honest and told him, no, you can only use this to hear the ghost and to communicate with the ghost. And he's like, how much for it? And he says, how much would you be willing to pay? And Spencer says, well, I have $30 left. And the guy's like, okay, I'll give it to you for $30. So Spencer buys it, takes it home. And Vanessa's exasperated with him. Wants to move on from this. Anyway, he goes home and he tries it. It's very hopeful. Nothing at first happens, but he wakes up at night and he hears, someone whispering through the Howler. Spencer's like, it's working. And the next day he tells Vanessa, and Vanessa's like, come to my house, Spencer tells her, and I'll show you. And after school, she meets him with these two other boys, Ted and Justin, who are like twins. They look very much alike, but they have no blood relation. R.L. Stine really has a thing for that, because that's not the first time the characters of his have been described like that. What book it was? The Haunted House. Yeah, except there was a boy and a girl. He really likes that description. Anyway, they all go to his house. They all go up in his room. He's like listening to TV and Nick's room's working. So he's like, please don't let Nick come in, please. So they go into the room. He turns on the Howler. And then the ghosts are talking again. Like, ooh, I'm trapped in the closet. Come get me out. So Spencer goes to the closet quickly. And Vanessa's like, stop, don't. Justin and Ted are terrified. But he goes, he opens the closet, and damn it. It's his brother, Nick. That asshole. Well, I should have said that prick. That would have rhymed. But yes, he apparently, he was the one who also made the sounds the night before. So there wasn't really a ghost. He laughs at Spencer, mocks him, and then leaves the room. Man, he's an asshole. Anyway, Spencer's obviously devastated and disappointed. Again, he really wants to contact Ian. That's what this all about. And then suddenly Vanessa says, this was a very mean trick, but I have an idea. She wants them to use the same trick on Scott. Because he made fun of Spencer and he keeps boasting how his house is haunted. So they want to do the same thing and scare him. So they all agree on it. And then the next day they go to his house. So the plan is Vanessa, Spencer, and Ted are going to go and, go to Scott's house. They're going to distract him while Ted goes up, yeah? While Ted goes up to the, while Justin goes up to the attic and gets into the closet there. Just a second. Yeah, while he gets into the closet, I apologize, the battery's running low. I have to do bloody hell, I'm gonna have to do an unscripted charging. I'm sorry. But I don't want it to run out while I film, so just a second. I'll try to keep describing it. Alright, so that's the plan. Justin's gonna go up there in advance. They're gonna turn on the Howler and he's gonna pretend to be a ghost. And then he's going to come out of the closet and scare Scott. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now we're good. Right, so they go in, they distract Scott, they'll tell him, yeah, the Howler really works. We were there with Spencer. He did it. You said you have ghosts here, so let's go try it out with them. And Scott's obviously reluctant because he made up the whole ghost thing. They're not, in his eyes, they're not real. And, right before this happened, even before this, I was like, this is going to be that one time where it's actually real. And Justin isn't going to be up in that room. It's going to be a real ghost. Because when they got in, Spencer stayed back a moment and, left the kitchen door open. I was like, some shit's about to go down, isn't it? Anyway, they go up to the attic. Spencer plugs in the Howler, turns it on. And then, and then he starts talking to it. Scott looks nervous. He still wants them to leave. But then the ghosts start talking. Now, they think it's Justin, but it's not. It's talking, we've been trapped here for so long. We're in the closet. Help us escape. Save us. So Spencer gets up. And Scott's obviously freaked. He's like, wait, they're real? And he's terrified. He doesn't want Spencer to open the door, but Spencer goes. Because, he thinks Justin's there. He opens the door and, uh-oh, no Justin. Justin's not there. And obviously all of them are spooked now. And confused. And suddenly Justin comes up and he's like, I'm sorry, my mom paged me. I had to go see what it was. What did I miss? Did you guys start without me? And then all hell breaks loose. The ghosts, 5 ghosts appear. It's a family. A mom, dad, grandma, daughter, and son. And then the whole attic is, did I mention first it's an attic? Sorry if I didn't. Yeah, it's an attic. L-shaped. So then he starts, then the ghosts start, it's freezing in there. There's howling wind. They're trying to get to the closet door to close it. But they can't, and they're, lying there puking, and there's a putrid smell and everything. I don't know what to do. But then somehow Spencer manages to get through and he closes the closet door and they all run out and close the basement door. Scott just pushes it up and they lock it and they leave. The kids run home. Scott like, wait, don't leave me. And Spencer tells him, you'll be okay. We locked the closet, we locked the attic, they won't be able to get out. So they all run home. And like Spencer's like, I'll never try to look for ghosts again, ever. Which he goes back on a few days later. Now he's in his room. It's a few days afterwards. He's making a poster. He forgot he entered some contest for posters at school. Nick comes in, being his usual bitchy self. I can say that, he's 16. His usual bitchy self, and he tells Spencer, go buy me some ice cream. Spencer gets so angry, and he's like, no, just get out of here, I have a poster to finish. Nick's like, okay. Backed down this time. And he leaves Spencer's room. But Spencer doesn't get to paint his poster for much longer. Oh yeah, before that, Scott comes to visit him. Spencer doesn't get too much work because his mom calls him to help the dad who returned with the groceries. When Spencer returns, he suddenly sees that someone painted an I, the letter I, on his wall with the paint. Oh, and I forgot to mention, way before all this, it's before he even buys the Howler. He goes outside one night because he thinks he sees, no, it was before that, because he sees that there's something blue there in the lake. The lake's not too far from his house where his cousin drowned. So he goes there. It's the middle of the night, it's after midnight. Puts on a coat, runs outside, and he goes to see if someone's there, but there's no one. But then he went really to the middle of the lake, and suddenly he got scared. He was starting to go back, and then he screamed because he felt a glove, not a glove, a hand grabbed him by the foot. So he gets to the shore, and then he sees that there's a glove on him. And he's like, but I could have sworn this glove, was alive. But something grabbed me. Vice, stop biting that bag. Sorry. Right, so now we're back to now. He starts screaming. He thinks Nick painted that eye. So he's like, he bursts into, to the hallway. Nick, he doesn't say asshole, but Nick, why, how could you? Why did you do this? Nick's on the phone. He's like, what do you want? He's like, my little brother's freaking out. I'll call you back. Then the parents run upstairs. And they're like, what's wrong? And they go into his room, his mom and dad, after Spencer tells them. And the father yells, like, Nick, come in here. How could you vandalize your brother's room? And I love the mom's reaction. She's like, I feel sick just looking at it. And I'm like, for fuck's sakes, it's just a bit of paint on the wall. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't have painted his wall, but... Well, what makes you sick? It's not like, I don't know, he drew some scene from Joji Hito manga on there. With blood and guts everywhere. Come on, lady. Relax. And the parents are like, well, don't worry. Maybe we can fix this. Maybe we can wash this off. And let's all go to dinner. The mom also gives him a suit he wore to her cousin's wedding to see if it still fits. Priorities. Well, they all go down to dinner. And Spencer is like, Nick's gonna get away with it again and all that. And then he starts to hear whispers. And it's like, I'm here, it tells him. And he freaks out because he's thinking, oh no, the ghosts are now in my house. And he's like, oh no. And he freaks out, he jumps from the table, and then he runs up to his room and closes the door. Then later at night he wakes up and he sees that his suit is starting to come to life. It looks like someone's wearing it and walking in it. And he starts screaming and something's opening, closing the window. Starts yelling. His parents run into his room. And he tells them the suit came to life, but it's back there on the chair now. and the window's closed. And I'm like, you just had a bad dream, Spencer. And he's like, no. Then he sees his parents won't believe him, and to make them relax, he tells them, yeah, it was probably just a bad dream. So they tuck him in. His dad brings him a glass of water, and that's it. Then the next day, he's like, I forgot about the Howler. I have to go bring it back. From Scott's house. He calls his friends again. Oh, his friend Vanessa. I guess Ted and Justin can be considered new friends. So he calls them back, and guys, with all the commotion, I forgot to get the Howler. The ghosts are now in my house. We need to go and get it. And can you come with me? So they agreed to go with them. They go over to Scott. He's at home alone. And he's like, I need to get the Howler. And Scott's like, no, you can't open it. He's like, don't worry, the ghosts are now in my house. They're not going to do anything. They're no longer here. So they go up to the basement, to the attic again. Attic. And he sees, there's the Howler. And he sees that the closet door's open again. So he goes to grab it, but suddenly, oh no, the ghosts appear. No, not appear. They go up there, they see the Howler, and then they see that the ghosts are dancing in the attic. Happy to be free. I still don't understand, though, because they said we've been buried here for so long. Did they mean they've been buried under the house or in the closet? Because there's no dead bodies in the closet. Not that we're told of. So I am curious about that. Like, where are they buried? Unclear. Oh, yeah. I just forget to mention something. When Spencer bought the Howler, the guy who sold it to him was like, be careful. Some ghosts that are summoned, just means something to the extent of that. And they're howling because they're angry. So, right, so then they run down. They're like freaking out, what to do. We need to leave immediately. They run into the kitchen. The ghosts are behind them. The ghosts also took off whatever remained of their flesh. Scott runs. He grabs the handle of the kitchen door to exit the house, that is. He's about to open it, but then his hand gets stuck on it. He starts yelling because his hand goes red and then purple. He can't disconnect it. Spencer tries to help him, but then his hand gets stuck on Scott's. The ghosts arrive and they attempt to beat them up, but they can't. Because, they're dead and apparently stupid. Like, they can control the doors in the house, but they can't really punch them, physically. So they're upset about that, and Vanessa's like, they can't hurt us. And they're like, for now. It looks like it's hopeless, but suddenly they disappear. Scott and Spencer can remove their hands finally. Scott's hand's not in good shape. It's all purplish. And they're like, what do? We need to find another exit. So they're like, let's go through the... I think it was the patio? What do you call it? I guess maybe like a little... maybe a patio is the correct word. And it's a room in the house where it also leads outside. And you can sit there, so maybe that is it. And someone correct me in the comments, please. So they go. About to go there, but there's a window, so they're like, we'll break it. I think it was Justin. He goes. Yeah, Justin takes a fire picker. He's about to go and break the glass, but suddenly he starts... he doesn't spin. Suddenly he gets grabbed and bam into the wall. Oh, and then his skull makes a cracking sound. But then he starts getting sucked into the wall. Like, holy shit, imagine that. They're all standing there terrified. And then Ted suddenly, we have to help him. He grabs Justin, but that doesn't help. It makes it worse because he gets sucked in too. And they disappear. And they're like, what do we do? And then they hear a car outside. It's Scott's parents. They returned home. So they're thinking that's our last hope. Because Scott wants to warn his parents, but Spencer tells him, no, wait. Maybe they can open the door and that way we can escape. Who would, like, theoretically, if they escaped, who would they call? Is there Ghostbusters in this universe they can ask for help? Imagine if they escaped. Would they have to run back to the guy's shop to get something for that? Because he did say he has traps for ghosts. Mmm. Right. But then suddenly Scott starts spinning and spinning and spinning, and he gets sucked into the ceiling. So then it's just Vanessa and Spencer. They run back to the kitchen and start yelling for Scott's parents. The mom notices them, tells the dad, and the parents start running towards the house to see what the hell's wrong. But then they get sucked into the snow. So that's it. It is just Vanessa and Spencer. They're like, what do we do? Spencer's like, I have to go up there and I have to contact Ian. Maybe he's our last hope. It is desperate, but So he runs up. 1 second. He runs up with Vanessa to the attic again. They're almost there. They're there. But the ghosts will probably be on them soon. So he goes to the Howler, presses it, and tries to contact Ian. But nothing is happening for a moment. But then suddenly, bam, there's an explosion. Spencer flies backwards and hits against the wall. And he wakes up to there being a fire. As the fire is like, Vanessa, where are you? He gets up, and then Vanessa is coming towards him. She has a nasty cut on her shoulder, but other than that, she's alive. They both start running down the stairs. It looks like they can get out now. Because downstairs the window is broken. Anyway, they get out, they start running. They run, but they accidentally run towards the lake. And like, shit, we trapped ourselves, which, granted, I don't know where they could have run even, Like, where would you escape if they can even control the outside? But anyway, they keep running. They're halfway through the lake. And then suddenly, the ghosts are there on them. They start swirling around them, making the ice break. Spencer's like, no, we're about to die. But then suddenly the ice behind them breaks, and we see Ian, Spencer's cousin, emerging. He gets out from the water. He's bluish now. Oh, obviously he's a ghost. Kind of remind me of The Sims. Because in The Sims 3, and I think in The Sims 2, depending on what The Sims died from, their ghost is a different color. Anyway, Ian is flying towards them. At first, Spencer's happy, but he's like, oh no, because Ian looks really angry and dangerous. No, Ian, please, don't kill me. I was trying to save you. And then Ian's upon her and he says, I know, Spencer. I know you tried to save me. That's why I stayed back. I wanted to thank you for trying. You almost, you risked your own life. You almost died. I was trying to contact you, but I was too weak. So that night where he was out in the middle of the night, that was, Ian found the glove and he tried to grab Spencer so he would listen to him, but it didn't work. And he's the one who painted the letter I. He wanted to write his name on the wall to let Spencer know it was him, but he didn't have enough energy to write the remaining letters. And then the same thing at dinner, it was him, and he's the one who wore the suit. It was, he's like, I tried to contact you, but all I did was frighten you. And he's like, but now I'm going to help you. And then Ian turns to the ghosts, and he starts swirling around them, skating, that is, until he makes a hole underneath them, and they all fall, and they start howling and screaming. And I think they disappear then, because suddenly, there's light, and Spencer and Vanessa are standing there, and everything's back to normal. The ghosts and Ian, unfortunately, are gone. So they run back to Scott's house, and things are back to normal. Scott, Ted, and Justin don't remember anything of what happened. I think maybe they probably just about remember coming to Scott's house, probably. I think after that, maybe they'll remember. Because, like, where did you guys go? Scott and Spencer goes. He takes the Howler. They realize, okay, they don't remember. That's good. Interesting. When I mentioned what's wrong with the parents, I hope they're out of the snow. But I'm assuming they are if things are back to normal. So that's it. All ends and ends well, right? So Spencer takes the Howler. That's it. He's gonna stop with the ghost business. He essentially achieved his goal. He got to talk to Ian. To tell him, and Ian knew it wasn't, they tried to save him. But that's it. Ian can now hopefully rest in peace, after all that he's been through. After dying, too. So and then he goes, he's going to his room. He wants to, put the Howler in the basement so no one ever uses it. But then Nick, that asshole's like, hey, punk, give me the Howler. I want to play the same prank I played on you on these two girls I know. And Spencer is about to explain why he shouldn't and it's really dangerous, but then Nick's like, Nick insults him again. Spencer's like, here you go. With a wide smile on his face. Have fun. Have a lot of fun. And that's where the story ends. Oh boy, that was that was good. I am a little disappointed though that we didn't get to see the old man again. I figured maybe this would be the type of story where he goes back to his shop. Because after they left the shop, I thought, maybe later on he would run to him again for help or advice or something. But no, apparently not. And and when he came there would be no one there. And people would tell him there was never a shop here. Sometimes they do that in fantasy stories. Or even horror stories probably too. Anyhow. Other than that, I really enjoyed the story. It was definitely far, far more interesting than Shadow Girl, that's for sure. It actually had some scary shit in it. Of course, I wasn't terrified, but it was very, very entertaining. You had to see Spencer, trying to contact Ian. Granted, all this could have been avoided if his parents took him to a psychologist, maybe. To talk out, what happened to Ian's not your fault. He tried to save him. Who could have predicted the ice would have, would have broken, and Ian would have fallen. But yeah, so we got a bit of grief. We got ghosts. We got gadgets. Overall, a very exciting ride. I got the creepy old man. I wish we'd gone back to him. But other than that, good story. I think I'll reread this one again in the future. As it was very good. Obviously in comparison to Shadow Girl. This is what Mr. Stein should stick to. Don't attempt superheroes, Mr. Stein. It's not your thing, maybe. But yeah, nothing that good. I love the sinister ending too. It's like, ooh. What do you think? Nick's gonna run to Spencer then? To Spencer do something. Well, let's hope Nick's an idiot and he doesn't come across any ghosts. Or else he's fucked. Literally. Yeah, so that's about it. An entertaining story. I enjoyed it. I liked Spencer a lot too, and Ian, their relationship. And, yeah, I wonder if all the children in the series have a name starting with C. Because Spencer, Selena, I think one of the girls is called Sarah. There's apparently a trilogy in this series. The Nightmare Room. And that girl, I believe, if I remember correctly, she's called Sarah. So I wonder if all the children in this series are called, their name starts with an S. That'd be an interesting thing to see. But yeah, other than that, let me think, is there something else? Well, I gotta say, Spencer is so far one of the more nice kids in these, in R.L. Stein's books anyway. Well balanced overall. I'm thinking of the two children in the haunted house. Man, they were a bit fucked up in the head, I think. Bit evil too in the beginning. But yeah, this is the more one of the more well-adjusted children. I'll say that, and nice too. Yeah, so that's about it. I enjoyed this one. I'll be keeping it for sure. And yeah, we'll see. I do have apparently some more books from the Nightmare Room series, and interesting to see if those are good too. Alright, so that is it, folks. Let me know. Did you read The Howler? If so, what did you think about it? Was it interesting? Did you like it? Or did you not like it? Let me know. Alright, so that is it. Now remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!